What is up, guys? Hope you're having an absolutely fantastic day. So if you're here watching this video, it probably means that you're stuck somewhere on your fitness or weight loss journey. As a coach that works primarily with men in their 40s and their 50s and a lot of former veterans, I see the same patterns over and over for why guys get stuck. It's not that you're not trying to do the right things, it's just the things that you used to do to stay in shape back in your 20s don't really work with your lifestyle anymore. So I'm going to walk you through exactly what I do when clients start with me to help them get the first 10 pounds off, typically in the first 2 or 3 weeks. That way, this is something that you can take away today and actually apply it. So I call this the legacy protocol. So this is how former military leaders over 40 drop fat fast without tracking or burning out. If you spent any time in the fitness space, you've heard every theory imaginable about weight loss, from hormones to insulin to metabolic damage. The truth is, you lose fat when calories burned exceed calories consumed. That's it. That's the foundation of everything. Everything else is mostly noise. The problem with most approaches is that they either force you to track every bite, so macro tracking, calorie counting, excessive amounts of meal prep, or they crush your energy, things like low carb, keto, intermittent fasting. Neither approach works well for busy men over 40 with real lives. The real skill isn't finding the perfect plan. It's finding one that's simple enough to execute consistently and creates a big enough deficit to move the scale quickly. And it also should keep your energy levels high enough to get through the workday and still have some gas left in the tank for your family at the end of the day. So that's why I created the HEAT protocol. It's one of the simplest, fastest fat loss systems I've used in 20 plus years of working out and coaching. You can expect to drop weight quickly, have high levels of energy, and spend minimal time on meal prep and no time at all tracking. Just a quick heads up though, if you're coming from a low carb or keto background, this is gonna feel wrong at first. You'll be eating a lot of carbs. If you've been one of those people that hammers high protein diets for years, it's also going to feel wrong to cut the protein back, even though it's only going to be temporary. But I want to show you this because this is the exact protocol that I use with some of my clients. So my client Mike, at 42 years old and a recently retired Marine, is in better shape now in his mid 40s than he was in his early 20s when he joined the Marine Corps. My client Petchy is one of my biggest success stories. He's already lost 75 pounds in just over 7 months. He's still dropping every single week. And he actually came into the program with early stage type 2 diabetes and has actually completely reversed his insulin resistance and has perfectly normal A1C levels now. And my client Luke, another former Marine, firefighter, father of 3, super busy, hectic schedule. He dropped 19 pounds in 7 weeks and at 40 years old has visible abs for the first time in his life. So I just wanted you to see that these are normal guys. These aren't elite level athletes. These aren't 20-year-olds with all the time in the world. These are busy men with jobs, careers, families, and they're getting results quicker than they ever thought possible when they joined the program. But I want to give you the exact same tools that I use with these guys so you can actually apply something as early as today. So here's how the protocol actually works. You're going to run this up front until you've lost 10 pounds or hit 3 weeks, whichever comes first. This is kind of like a jump start to your weight loss program. On what I call heat days, this is going to be most of the days. You're going to eat only fruit juice, and honey. Bare minimal protein and fat. You're aiming to keep protein and fat under 20 grams a day per macronutrient. You'll definitely want to drink plenty of water, tea, coffee, and electrolytes as needed. Here's where you get the reset. Every third day, you're going to have a full dinner. So you're going to get a lot of protein, target about 60 grams of protein from a lean source, such as chicken breast, turkey, white fish. You're going to get carbohydrates in the form of rice or potatoes or pasta. And you're going to get some trace fats, but I want you to shoot for keeping that under about 20 grams. Now, if you get a couple cycles into this program and you feel like you need a break, that's not a big deal. Just take 1 day of normal eating. Don't really consider it a cheat day. I don't want you to overload on anything. Just healthy, lean proteins and starches, a little bit of fat. And then you can pick up on the HEAT program the next morning. So at this point, people are usually freaking out about losing muscle. But here's what actually happens in short-term aggressive fat loss protocols like this one. First of all, muscle loss doesn't happen in just days. It takes weeks or months of sustained protein deprivation. Second, carbs actually preserve your muscle. So because you're getting plenty of carbs, you're topping off your glycogen stores, and this has anti-catabolic effects. Third, you are going to get those refuel dinners once every 3 days. So you're going to have that targeted protein hit every few days. This is also going to help protect lean mass. Finally, resistance training is actually very protective. Just moderate resistance training helps preserve muscle and even in very low calorie conditions. If you want to dig into it further, I've listed a couple studies here that actually have tested these very low calorie conditions in muscle preservation. So in short, over the span of just 2 or 3 weeks, you're highly unlikely to lose any muscle at all, especially if you're doing some light training sessions and having your refuel dinners every third day. A few things I do want to note for workouts while you're on HEAT though. I don't really want you to start any new crazy training programs during the protocol. If you're you're already doing some training, continue to do that, but just deload a little bit. Really, the best approach is to do one 30 to 45 minute long, moderate intensity, full body session on each one of your dinner refuel days. I do want you to focus on daily movement, mostly in the form of getting 8,000 or more steps. But overall, I want you to skip any kind of heavy lifting or intense cardio. So I do want to talk about your appetite a little bit while you're on this program. So people often ask how much they can eat. The truth is most people can't overeat on heat even if you wanted to. If you try to binge on fruit, your body often responds with extra energy of movement. And within a couple of days, your appetite naturally downshifts back into a deficit. So what a typical day might look like for you, and definitely want to have breakfast first thing in the morning. This is not a fasting diet. So breakfast might be a banana and some strawberries drizzled with honey. A mid-morning snack might be 1 or 2 pieces of fruit. You can also add honey or some sugar to those. For lunch, I like to have a big bowl of chopped watermelon, tomatoes, cucumbers. You can top that with tahini or some honey or some balsamic glaze. That way you have something savory to kill any of those cravings. Afternoon snack might be a couple more pieces of fruit. And then for dinner, it might be something similar to lunch. One big hack is to add some chicken or beef broth with salt to help hydrate and satisfy any savory cravings. The big keys to success on these heat days. First of all, you want to weigh yourself daily. I recommend weighing yourself both at morning and at night. On almost any diet out there, your nighttime weight's going to be higher by many pounds. But when you're on a heat day, you should actually be the same or even slightly lower in the evening. It's an indication that you're efficiently burning all the fuel that you're giving your body throughout the day. On most diets, you're going to have multi-pound daily fluctuations. However, on the heat protocol, weight should be flat or dropping on an almost daily basis. And one quick note, digital scales can be finicky, so make sure you step on and off the scale the exact same way every time to minimize the chance of any inaccurate readings. And finally, I do want to go over a couple troubleshooting steps that'll help you get through your day-to-day. So first of all, I want you to make sure that you're getting ahead of cravings. Some of the best options for breaking the monotony of the fruit-focused diet is, as I mentioned earlier, the bone chicken or beef broth with salt. This is pretty filling and it satisfies some of those savory cravings. Watermelon topped with tahini is an amazing choice. A tomato or cucumber salad with balsamic glaze is awesome. Hot honey is an amazing topping for pretty much any of your fruits and vegetables. And seaweed snacks are another ones that a lot of my clients like to have. Next, I want you to make sure that you're getting plenty of salt and electrolytes. This is a very anti-inflammatory diet and it's common to have to urinate quite often. Adding salt to your food or drinks or supplementing with electrolyte powders or sports drinks helps to stay properly hydrated. Next one is a big one. There's no need to be hungry. This is not a fasting diet. It's not a starvation diet. You should be eating as much as you need to feel satisfied and have good energy throughout the day. If you feel like you need some more volume to keep you full, some of the things I like to use are Jell-O, watermelon, soda water, or even regular full sugar soda. And as I mentioned earlier, the beef broth, chicken stock, things like that will help immensely with curbing your appetite. So in terms of weight loss expectations, the first few days you expect dramatic weight loss, often 3 to 6 pounds, sometimes even more. Now, a lot of this is due to clearing your GI tract of undigested food, which can be 1 to 3 pounds of just food that's kind of sitting in your gut. You're also going to have a drop in water retention due to the anti-inflammatory nature of the diet. After the first few days, you can expect that the pace typically steadies a little bit because once you've got the digestive weight stabilized, most of the weight is coming from actual fat mobilization. So as I mentioned earlier, I'm going to treat this as a kickstart to a longer term weight loss solution. This is exactly how I start my clients out until they lose that first 10 pounds. And then we start to make adjustments to make this more sustainable over the long period. So if you decide to give this a shot, once you hit that 10 pounds of weight loss, I want you to reach back out to me on Instagram, shoot me a message, let me know how it went for you. And if you want to book a call with me to talk about next steps and the strategy going forward, we can definitely do that.